thought of selling, not least because the house wasn't mine. It belonged to my Uncle Sam, who had bought it for $20,000 in 1970, a fact which caused people to gasp when he related at dinner parties. Maddie and I had lived there since she was 2 years old, and I had left her father, following the incident. Or Charlie had left me. I still wasn't sure which. All I knew was the idol of early motherhood, of milk stains and night feeds, of worries and firsts. First smile, first finger clench, first step, first supermarket tantrum, first hemorrhoid, mine, first pang of gut-clenching guilt, had come to a crashing end for me. Later, when I discovered how hard it was to care for a child alone, Charlie decided that it was me who had done the leaving. He settled on that position and could not be moved from it. He taunted me, reviling me, saying I chose to go, so what did I expect? But I wasn't sure how much choice really came into it. At first, the Ruby Street terrace was meant to be a temporary arrangement, but Uncle Sam had been so charmed by Maddie, a delectable toddler who threw out smiles like confetti, that we ended up staying. Eventually, it was Uncle Sam who moved out, after he had a fall in the bathroom and broke his hip while Maddie and I were on a holiday in Queensland. He went to a Potts Point retirement facility where he was visited by a plump and efficient nurse, and where he could walk the harbour at Bear Park, or at least hobble the harbour at Bear Park. It was his favourite stretch of Port Jackson, he said, and it was where he wanted to die. Uncle Sam talked about his death quite openly, as though it was a trip he was planning, a sort of long service leave he would soon be taking up. I didn't mean to kill Tracey Doran, and as the summer began, I would never have dreamed it would be defined by her death. She was just another story. It being Sydney, the summer started actually sometime in September, when the bottlebrush trees bloomed and the magpies began to warble and swoop with murderous intent. A double act that represented the Australian bush. Its beauty was only offered in a context of danger. That year, a magpie actually did kill someone, a cyclist, by swooping him so viciously he veered off the cycleway and into the path of an accelerating Mack truck. How to prove men's rear in a bird? I had half a law degree, but I didn't know. Whether it was murder or manslaughter was between the magpie and his god, said my colleague Victor as we read this story in horror, sat at our desks and scrolling through the news. Or her god, I said, because since Maddie had been born, I had been trying to eliminate all forms of sexist language in my speech. This was a goal that was certainly doomed because, despite living in a progressive middle-class milieu and being mothered solely by a single mother, me, who did literally everything for her, Maddie was a strong enforcer of gender norms. She refused to believe that any child with long hair could be male, something that proved embarrassing in playgrounds full of bountifully trussed boys named things like Leaf and Miro. Maddie also corrected me laughingly when I told her the Prime Minister could be a girl too. No, it can't, Mummy, she chortled, and I had to admit that the evidence I had for my case was scant. Maddie wore pink clothing as though it had been mandated by a higher power than me, and she had somehow absorbed the holy trifecta of girlish interests: fairies, princesses, and unicorns, despite my attempts to push on her books about inspirational female trailblazers and other blatant early feminist propaganda, like a picture book entitled, "Mummy Goes to Work." I hoped she kept these opinions to herself at her preschool, where she was looked after beautifully by a tribe of kind but firm women, far more patient than me in their ministrations to her. Every morning before I went to work,